no, not again. Remember what happened last time? Oh no.
Well, we got the Jeep back in the shop finally. So it's time for the first order of business, and that's installing the lift kit. So there we've got our Pro Comp lift kit. We have our instructions, and we're already in trouble. All right, so I've got Crazy Man Paul here, and we are getting ready to get this lift kit installed. So first thing we got to do is jack it up, get the pressure off of the axle, get it up on jack stands, and take the front tires off. So let's do that. All right, so we've got the vehicle up on jack stands, and we're getting ready to go in there and take the transmission skid plate off, which we don't know why we're supposed to do that, but that's what the instructions say. So that piece right there is going to come off. All right, so we removed the sway bar that goes back up underneath there, and Kevin seemed to think this is bent. I can't see it by looking at it, but he was under there.
To me. This here looks different right in here to me.
Okay, so we gotta get one of those on order then. So then now we gotta get off the shocks, right?
Right.
Alright, so what I was doing there is we have to get this track bar loosened, which is this bolt right through here, and then we're just gonna pull that up and just get it up out of the way. That's all we gotta do. We don't have to take it all the way off. So just gonna get that bolt out. We got the shocks out on both sides, and then we'll see what the instructions say after that. All right, so we've got the traction bar, track bar up. We got it unbolted, and we just got it wired up out of the way. So now it says we have to take off the bracket for the ABS, and that would be probably the easiest place to do it is right here. All we're doing is trying to get enough slack so that when we move the axle up and down, it doesn't pinch or bind the brake line or the ABS wire. So, all right, so what we're going to do now is jack up, get the pressure up off of this axle, take the tire off, and we should be able to drop the tire or the axle down enough to get that spring out. So we'll do that, and then we'll put our new bump stop and new spring in there. I'll show you how that works. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we've got the spring off, and so we're going to have to drill a hole in this and install our new bump stop right there, so that when Paul was in extreme situations, this piece right here goes down and hits this, and since we're 2.5 inches up, that would be too much of a drop if we didn't have that on there. So when we put the new spring on, that'll sit down inside that. So let's get that put on and we'll show you. so now all we got left to do on this side is put our shock on right here, and our ABS, yeah, ABS bracket has to be put on first, then our shock, and then we just have to drop that track bar back down into its little cradle there and put the bolt back in, and that's it on the front. So we have the Jeep front finished with the lift kit. It's all complete. One thing we have left is the sway bar to put it back on the front. And since we think this one is bent, I went ahead and ordered one of those. It should be here tomorrow. So we'll install that tomorrow. And we're going to go ahead and cut. Kevin and them had to cut this cross member right here when they were doing the pull. And so I'm gonna go ahead and grind off. I don't think that cross member is a must, but we kind of want it on there just because. But it's welded here, and then on the other side, the same place. I've got one of those ordered too, so we'll get that off today. But I'm gonna get this bumper taken back off so we can get to it easier. And then we got to figure out where all the wiring goes and all that, but that's kind of on the side project. I'll just be doing that as I get time. The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and get the lift kit put on the back. So front looks pretty good. I don't know if you can tell from this close, but it's definitely up higher in the front. So we'll get the back jacked up and start installing that. Alright, so we got the tires off and we got the vehicle securely jacked up in 3 different spots. Wheels are chopped. So the first thing we gotta do is get in here, get this track bar right here, the bolt out of it, and we'll take it out and wire it up. Just get it out of our way. That's the first thing on the instructions. Alright, so we've got the shocks off both sides, and the next step is to remove this sway bar right here. So after we remove the sway bar bottom bolt, which I just did, we got to take off this bracket here that holds up holds the brake line to the frame. Get rid of that so that whenever we move this thing up and down with the lift kit, it doesn't put too much strain on this brake line.
Welcome to the Mundane Minute.
Hey guys, here's the update on the Honda CR-V that was done as a mail car. There it is, complete with its flashing lights and United States Postal Service insignia on the door. You'll remember there's where it was hit, right there in front of the door, smashed in. I took it to Mike and had him pull out the inside part, inside the door. It's just to get it out enough where we could get the door shut. This was going to be a really cheap build, so I replaced the door, replaced the fender, and I did the paint. So if you see a bunch of problems with it, it's me, not Mike. And we've got just the rest of it here. Looks like the only other thing I did was the back quarter panel, if you remember, was rusted out, and so fixed the rust and replaced and repainted that. Oh, and the bumper, we took it off and repainted it. It was all, the paint was all cracked and everything on that. So there you have it. Another mundane minute. Alright, so we've got brackets removed from brake lines. Next step is to lower the axle down. And when we do, it's going to release this spring right here. So we'll drop the axle down, the spring will get loose, and we should be able to just pull it out. Okay, we had to release these clips right here on the ABS line because they're already starting to get tight, and we need to go down another couple inches to get the springs all the way out. Okay, so we're going to install the track bar relocation bracket right here before we put the springs back in. So what that's going to do is allow the track bar to work with this new height. So this is several bolts and hardware that hooks this up. So let's see how this works. Alright, so we've got this bracket installed, the new U-bolt on, all the spacers, bolts, all that in there, if you can see that. And now we have to install bump stops. So we'll put this little right here. We gotta put one of these on each side so that when this stop goes down, it's 2.5 inches higher, which is our lift kit size. So put those on. Okay, so now we've got everything done except for the springs need to be reinstalled. So we just set them in there in the right spot and crank up the axle back up to get some pressure on there to hold them in place. Alright, shocks are installed on both sides. So now we need to install this sway bar link back on there. Next thing will be to check and see if we have relocation brackets for these brake lines so that doesn't mess it up when we hook that back up. We still want plenty of play on our brake lines. And then after that, I think we put the wheels back on, but we'll see. Alright, so lift kit is installed. Got the tires back on. All the stuff underneath is bolted on. We got this cam lock. So I'm going to show you. It's pretty ingenious. This little thing right here, this is all new bracket right here. And this cam lock, you can loosen up the nut on the back side and twist this right here. And that moves this track bar left to right, which moves the axle left to right. So whenever we take it to have it aligned, we'll have to check that out, and we're supposed to, make sure that the wheels are centered underneath the vehicle, which we can't really do without a alignment machine. So that's one thing they'll do. So that's all in. There's the new springs, shocks. That's done. So
Hey, I think I got something. Hey, you got it? Man, I hope so, but I here all day.
come on.
Oh, man. Keep throwing it back, I guess. At least it's a nice day for some fishing.
Alright, try it again. Hey, there's something else.
Hey, here we go. Hey, all right. About time. Man, that feels good.
Yeah, that took a while.
And the winner of this week's contest and a brand new Rebuild It t-shirt is Miller Custom Name Logs, who gets the correct answer a whopping 6 minutes after we posted the video on Instagram. Congratulations, man. We'll be in contact soon to get your t-shirt information and your address in order to get the shirt to you. Thanks so much, everybody who entered, and we'll be doing another one of these contests real soon. And always remember, don't retire it if you can rebuild it. See you guys next week. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in and watching this week's episode of Rebuild It. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any awesome content. Have a good one.